Well, I just thought I'd pop down and see how the sheep are doing. Everybody seems fairly quiet, even little Timmy, or number 11, whatever you want to call him. It is wet down here, very wet. We haven't really had any let up with the rain. It's just constantly just drizzle, so the drainage is kind of coping with it, but there are places where it's not. So anyway, they're all happy enough. Herdwicks are out there, and last time I looked, the ram was with them, so he's got fed up with the girls out here. They don't want him anymore, so yeah, he's out there. Right, let's go see them. So compared to our kind of homebred Clin cross Texel cross Charolais they use out there, this lot are what I would probably describe as a bit wilder, shall we say. But they're keeping him entertained and well employed for the time being. And the way I look at it is, although these are older ewes, if I get a lamb or two out of each of these this year, for what we paid for, which is basically cull ewe price really, if they rear a lamb each or two each, they can always go off to cull market next year and leave me the lambs, or leave the lambs I want. So, is that your new girlfriend? Hey? She seems quite happy. That ash from here is just showing the first signs of dieback, whereas that one isn't. Our skyline's going to change over the next 10 years, and I don't think it's going to be for the better. I've still actually got quite a nibble out here. The grass, right up until about a week, 10 days ago, was actually still growing. It was keeping up with them. We've had a couple of very cold mornings, frosts, that slowed it right down. But I still think it's just kind of ticking over. It's growing later than I'm used to seeing it grow, so normally by now it's all done and dusted, but yeah, there's definitely some new regeneration down here. Oh good, it's raining again. You may not be able to see her, but there's that antisocial bugger over there. All the Herdwicks down here quite happily together, but not her. I still haven't worked out if it's because she doesn't like them or they don't like her. It's kind of, yep, nope, wrong tribe, face don't fit. She's quite happy, just antisocial. Okay, so I just had a phone call from Dad to say that 29 tons of our wheat went yesterday, apparently all passed and blah blah blah. The story I'd had with the wheat was a load was going out this week, then it wasn't going out this week, then it was going out this week because they were desperate for it. It's like, no, we need the wheat. Then the council were resurfacing the lane down where the farm, so the lorry couldn't get to it. They weren't coming to get it. And they spoke to the council workers and they said, well, you can work around it, so that they were going to come and get it. And then they weren't, but then they did. Okay, so I've had a request to go over and give the guys a hand, pack all the cables and motors away in the barn. It's 12 o'clock. Looks like I'll be getting my lunch late. Right then, trip to the farm. So what I had intended to do with this video, walking back out the field, was just stop off in our little orchard and just touch on pruning our fruit trees. I've had quite a few requests the last week or so asking about fruit tree pruning. Well, for some types of fruit tree pruning, it is now season, so what I call Secateurs season. So briefly, and I will go through this in more detail later on, if you're pruning a fruit tree for fruit, you do it in the autumn now, but you only prune what you can handle with secateurs. This is how I have always done it. Or, you know, if it's a couple of years older, maybe a pair of small loppers. If you need to do any pruning involving a saw, then I personally would prefer to do that in the summer when the tree's in full leaf. There's a reason for that, because whatever time of year you prune your fruit trees in, you're basically knocking next year's crop in the head, or most of next year's crop. You'll lose. But you prune trees for shape, for size, not so much amenity if it's for fruit, but we'll touch on the amenity side as well, because most of the fruit trees we do for our customers, it's a compromise. Not many of our customers actually want all the fruit. In fact, a lot of my customers leave it on the floor to rot, which I tell them off for, but they do it anyway. But there is a time for the job, and to be perfectly honest, most fruit tree pruning could actually be done in the summer. So, but like I say, I will go into that. You got to be careful with the main thing is what you've got to be careful with is hormones. Trees produce hormones throughout different seasons and times of the year, and all you've got to do is not upset the balance of hormones. Like I say, we'll go into that in a bit more depth in a video where I will actually do a video that is simply fruit tree pruning, and I may also do another one on what we call target pruning. So if you have a garden tree that you want to take some branches off, there are some definite do's and don'ts. Poorly pruned trees can have a serious effect on that tree's longevity, health, resistance to disease and infection and fungus, stuff like that. So target pruning, and I'll do it according to British Standard 3998 2010, because that is the latest standards that I'm aware of. I don't think the new one's come out, no one's told me. So yeah, BS 3998 is the British standard that most folks who are working on trees should try their best to follow as best they can. Sometimes what the customer is asking you to do, you might as well throw the British standard away because you just can't do it. So, but there you go. There you go. So, upcoming video will be fruit tree pruning. That will include your pipped and your stone fruits, because there's a difference. Not massive, but there is a difference. Right then, 12:15. Father rung me, can you come and give us a hand to move all the fans out the barn, because now they're taking the wheat out. It's being sold. Yes, I can, but he called me from the shed, and I know Reg is there as well, so I reckon by the time I've gone over there, they would have done it. In which case, it would. Why did you ask me? That would be normal. Or I could find them both sat in comfy chairs over there, because there is a couple, or there are vehicles waiting for me to come over and do the difficult bit, because I'm younger and fitter. Yep, that's a possibility as well. Right, okay. We'll see you over there. Come on. I knew you'd be sat in that chair.
You sat in the chair?
Do you want to get the fans off?
Yeah, it might be easier.
All right.
Put the bucket up, so you put them in the bucket. Instead of carrying them down.
Okay. All right. I can do that.
Yes, three quarter of a load. You said, well, we got enough. We can't overload it.
That was 29 ton on 3/4 of a load, was it?
Something like that, wasn't it?
Okay.
We had to stop because we wanted to be overloaded. Get the bucket back. Yeah, that's a good job.
Okay. Tell you what, that bucket's bloody cold. You've got to get a wheat egg between the toes. Yeah, possible. It hasn't knocked a big hole in it though, has it? Oh, I suppose, yeah. That's all right. So that's 29 tons, so you got another 50 to go then, yeah? For this lot?
They're too low.
Yeah.
No, there's 14 buckets for the load.
Was it? 14 buckets to load? 14 of them?
And they weren't full the last one, were they? No,
they weren't.
They got a bucket on the top of the lorry. And the thing started doing this. I thought, oh shit now.
Oh shit, I missed it.
I said, whoa, don't want anymore.
Come here.
The old boy picked it up. He was like that point with a farmer up.
Yeah. Alright, I can shovel that bit. I can shovel that bit.
Yeah, just push it out. Oh, you're good.
Right, that is that little job done and dusted, finished. Just so happens I've got the drone in the back of my van, so I think we'll take a little fly over the rest of the farm now and just see how the wheat that we planted a few weeks ago is faring in all this wet weather.
Right, I'm going to leave them there chatting like a pair of old farmers, because that's what we're doing. I've got stuff to do at home, so we're on our way. And yeah, it was worth while taking the opportunity to have a little flyover to see how the wheat's going on. I mean, it looks a lot better from ground level than it does from up in the air. It looks a lot thinner up in the air. Alright, I'll put my seatbelt on, I'll come back. Right, it's not screaming at me now. So yeah, the crop looks a lot greener from down here, but of course we're looking through it, not down on it. So it does look a lot thinner from up above, but at least it's kind of consistent all the way through. We got it in a bit later than we wanted to. It has been very wet. Reg managed to spray it yesterday for aphids because we sent off a sample and they found aphids on the crop, so So that was the job yesterday, and it was a case of it's too wet, it's going to make a little bit of a mess, but we got to get these aphids off. So that was done yesterday, so hopefully that's that bit done. Oh, you missed that, it was a squirrel. There was a squirrel and you missed it. Right, anyhow, home.